Everybody say that they want love, but nobody wants to talk about what it costs. We've seen situations where a man is in a high profile relationship. Everything looks good on the outside, but after it ends, he seems to reach another level. A recent example, people been talking about Michael B. Jordan. He was in a relationship with Lori Harvey, highly visible, highly talked about. After the relationship ended, we've seen him step into a different level of focus, directing, producing, and now winning the major awards, including an Oscar. So the question then becomes, what actually changed? Was it always him? Was it timing? Or can the wrong relationship, even if it looks good, slow down your momentum? So now we're having a real discussion, not surface level, not emotional, but about discipline, choices, and alignment. Discipline, choices, and alignment. I'm going to kick it off with this question. Let me get mine back in there. Can a relationship actually slow a man down, or is that just a lack of discipline? Can a relationship actually slow a man down, or is that just a lack of discipline?
I would say it certainly has the potential to. There are some women who require more bandwidth than others to be able to function. There are some women who are very dependent. There are some women who require you to emotionally regulate them. Some women require an exuberant amount of attention and are just needy at sometimes, right? And then you have other women who can uplift you, who can inspire you, who can breathe life into you. It all depends on what you run into, what you decide to select to be your counterpart. So that's why it's extremely important for men to choose wisely, because you could run on to either one of them. And I'm on record saying that I don't believe that relationships should be work. I don't believe that relationships should be hard. If you are matched appropriately, it will be easy for you. If you select the wrong type of a mate, then it will be very difficult and possibly lead to your demise.
All right. Go ahead, Willie. No, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
Yeah, a relationship can slow somebody down. I mean, if you've got 24 hours every day, your relationship is going to take a significant portion of that time to maintain. So if you're putting time into your relationship, you're not putting into whatever else it is, your purpose, your goals, whatever your ambitions are, then your progress in those things isn't just by default slowed down. I don't. I think that the way people use it is like just stupid. Like the idea that Lori Harvey was hindering Michael B. Jordan from doing what he was doing outside of the time that he had to put into dealing with her. That's not even noteworthy. Anybody who wants to do a thing, it takes 2,000 hours to master a skill. So if you've got 2 years to get it, you want to get it done in a year, then and you work a full time job, you're not going to be able to master that skill because those 2,000 hours are going to get taken from, your family, your girlfriend. It's just weird that we even have to ask this question, or if it's posed as if it's a discipline thing. It's not a discipline thing; it's a prioritization thing.
How you feel about that, Hank?
Look, I've said before, I think last week we was talking about, um, is there something special about certain women? And I believe that to the fullest. As long as you got the right woman, I think you can accomplish whatever goals that you want to accomplish. I think Trev was just describing some of the things, um, but it's got to be that right woman. She can't be an individualistic type mindset woman. She can't be selfish. She can't be overly needy. Those type of women are not going to allow you to accomplish anything, let alone shout out to Michael B. Jordan for winning an Oscar, winning some type of award like that. That it's not. Um, that's just Just my opinion about it.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Yes, I think relationships absolutely can slow down, your goals. Especially if the relationship you're being intentional. Relationships require commitment. Shout out to brother William, brother Trev. What I'm saying is going to fortify what they're saying. If you're not intentional in a relationship, you're just wasting time. If you are intentional in your relationship, it's going to occupy your time. I think the goal really is to find a way for the relationship to assist or complement your goals. If you can't do that, then it fundamentally will impede them.
Okay. Go ahead, straight.
Wait, what was the question again? I just want
Can
to
a
make sure I understand
relationship
it.
can a relationship actually slow a man down, or is it that it's just a lack of discipline?
It's probably both, but I think a relationship can slow him down if he, as the rest of the guys said, if you choose the wrong partner, she could really mess up your life. So I know a lot of friends that mess with the wrong lady and they're in jail. So couldn't pay child support, got the wrong woman pregnant, and life's just been hectic ever since. And I think also it's a lack of discipline because I'll give you the first one. So usually if a guy mess with the wrong woman, I give him the first one. But if you got 3 women and you're dealing with the same stuff on the second and the third one, then it's probably you not knowing how to pick the right woman. But I'd say, yeah, a woman, to answer the question just straightly, I think she can derail you. And a good woman can actually make your life better. She can give you a lot of balance, a lot of focus. She can help you mature too at the same time.
You said jail. Forget about slowing down. You bring it to a halt. Jail, that's rough.
And trust me, I had one friend of mine. He has a new woman now, and his first wife, with his first son, she keep trying to get his income so that way she can get more money out of child support. And every time he's trying to travel, they put restrictions on his passport. If he doesn't get that stuff corrected. So I'm saying he had to deal with that for 19 years, bro, and it didn't make his life easy. So and he would learn a valuable lesson. So he made sure the next one wasn't, to that point. So I think it is imperative that you choose your partner very carefully, especially for me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I can't pick a woman that moves a certain way in the streets. So once I know she has a reputation or she moves a certain way, I can't deal with that. That's embarrassing to me. So
Go ahead, Mark. You about to say something?
Yeah, I think it's very simple. I think a woman can either slow you down, bring your life to a screeching halt, or she can benefit whatever you're doing. No different than a friendship that you have. If you got the right friends, they can benefit you. Y'all can benefit each other. If you got the wrong friends, then your life can go into the wrong direction very fast. And it's a little bit deeper than a friend because this is the closest person to you. So who you might even invest in more than you would invest into a friend, even though I know that men invest heavily into our friendships. But yeah, like it can a woman can absolutely slow you down, especially if it's time to like have kids or things like that. And also as men, we allow women to kind of distort our vision a little bit, women like to have cheat days when you're on diets and stuff. You can go on a diet with your girl. She's like, we can have a cheat day. Like they kind of like do stuff like that. So, they'll definitely get you off your path if you aren't extremely disciplined. And I think women are men are designed to, want to be around women and want to like, make a woman happy to some degree. So it can definitely throw you off your path if you were the wrong woman.
Yeah. I answered that question too. I think a relationship can slow down a man, but I think that comes from just a lack of knowledge. I think there are different types of women. I don't think a lot of men really understand that. I think when we are out here dating, a lot of times we just dating just based off what we know. But as people get older, they get into their ways, and once they get into their ways, is you don't really see the patterns or able to identify what it looks like to know what it is to avoid. So it could be a lack of discipline, but I think it still starts with the whole mindset thing, because if your mindset is right, no matter the situation, then you'll have a high percentage chance of operating in a certain way. Because I think at any given moment, even if you did vet correctly, that particular woman still can slow you down at some point. You may not realize it. It can subconsciously be happening, but if you have the right mindset and understand, what it takes to get to where you want to be, then you'll be able to kind of nip that in the bud early on. I did want to ask another question. If you're truly focused, can anyone really distract you? If you are truly focused, can anyone really distract you? No.
I'll kick it off and simply say no. The words were truly focused. People can try to distract you, but it's not gonna work. Not when you're in the zone. I mean, we're talking about like flow state. You can't break that up.
Now, I think you made an excellent point, Big Aaron, but I just want to talk about that wrong woman again. No, because that wrong woman is different. That wrong woman will manufacture issues for you to handle, right? That dumbass to-do list for shit that you didn't really need, right? If they want that attention, they're gonna get in your way. So it all depends on what type of woman. I wouldn't even say the average woman would do it, but if you pick that wrong joint, you're in trouble, because when they want attention, they get it by any means.
That would mean that you're not focused then.
Well,
That's all it was. That means that she just breaks your focus. Now you're focused on whatever this is. Like, you can't focus on but one thing at a time. So you're saying that bad woman will manufacture a list of things for you to do. It's cool. No argument there. However, that just, if she can distract you from what you were doing, you are no longer focused. If you are focused on something, that is all that you're worried about. It's all you're concerned about. It's what you're looking at. It's what you're moving towards. Nobody can break that but you.
I think
right. But if we're talking about emergencies, right? Like, some people manufacture emergencies. So you could be as focused as you want to be, right? But if something comes up that is a quote unquote need, then it's expected for you to attend to it.
Yeah,
again,
you're supposed to focus on that instead of what you were focused on, which is my point. If a man is focused on a goal, he's focused on that goal. Even if she comes and says, "Oh my God, my leg is cut, take me to the hospital," you have to stop focusing on that thing to go focus on this next thing. But if you're focused on that thing, you can choose to say, "Fuck that other thing," and stay focused here, because that's what's important. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's not a discipline thing; it's a prioritization thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anybody close enough to me to where I'd give a shit about their emergency enough to break my focus, they're not gonna be the type of person to manufacture focus, or I drop the ball in the vetting process. If you can manufacture focus, manufacture something, you take your ass to hospital. I don't care.
Right. Well, I think that. Do you think a lot of us drop that though? Like the vetting process, a lot of us have dropped the ball on the vetting process, right? Because women show you their representative, and that's what I want, right? I think we all have to some extent at some point. So that's why that vetting process that Big Aaron just mentioned is vital, right? Because you may not see that in the beginning. I'm sure that we've ran into somebody, they showed you their representative, it looks good, you're going into a situation in good faith, like a man, like you thinking you're doing the right thing, but then you find out a whole bunch of other shit that you wish you never did, and you're like, damn. And that type of woman could at least temporarily derail your lifestyle. And that's all. The only point I want to make is that just to stress your point, Big Aaron, about that vetting process, because we all, no matter how straight and narrow we're, no matter what we're trying to do, no matter how much we're going into a situation in good faith, we're still vulnerable to that woman. And we underestimate the power of women sometimes, right? Whereas we know what they're capable of, that art of seduction, that art of manipulation, and these tools that when women understand how to use them can really destroy kingdoms. And we've seen it happen.
I think I think you can be distracted, and the reason that I say that is because if you was truly that focused, would you really have a woman anyway at that point, right? Because if once you have a woman, you're opening yourself up to distraction just by virtue of having one. Just like same thing of if you have kids, can you truly be that focused also, right? You having these loose ends means that you have exposure. Like because you may be focused, but at the same time, there might really need to be there might really be an emergency that you need to tend to, because if you have a woman, to a degree, you're responsible for her. So I think that yeah, you are opening yourself up to losing focus or having to your energy needing to be other places.
Look, I also think sometimes a woman can be a healthy distraction, because I know there's times when I'm so locked in that I kind of forget other things that I've allowed to slip or put on the back burner and way too long than I should have. And she's reminded me, brought it back to my attention, allowed me to refocus, because I'm so locked in on certain things I do. Sometimes you can miss family because you're so locked in, family events and important days that happen. And so with that being said, yeah, I mean, it's all gonna, to me, and like I said before, it's all gonna depend on that woman. Hopefully you did a great job by vetting this woman prior to marriage, or prior to getting in a serious relationship, that you can, find out what type of distraction she's gonna be, a negative one or she's gonna be a positive. Is she gonna be able to help you in any type of way? Maybe help you focus, maybe help you with your priority, pushing you towards that, maybe doing certain little tasks that you may need done while you're locked in on your purpose, so those things don't fall by the wayside. So
Just to piggyback off what Hint just said, there's I'm not sure if you guys would agree with this analogy, but they say the easiest way to dethrone or to um, kill a king is to send a beautiful woman, or a woman in general. So it does it doesn't I mean, there's nuance in that question, because I do feel like if you're focused, you will do your best to vet, but sometimes you just get got. You can be a very driven man, you can be a king, you can be a president, you can be a CEO of a company, and they send a woman in, and next thing you know, you're doing something else. So I think there's nuance in it. So it could be that a guy is really focused, but then for whatever reason he didn't vet this female properly. She comes in, she plays the role, didn't see the signs, and the next thing you know, you off doing something that you weren't supposed to do. But I think there's nuance. It just depends. You'd have to ask more questions.
I think the lesson here really is to just understand the role in your life that this woman has. If she's truly inner circle, then the effect she's going to have on your focus. I mean, she's not going to narrow your focus. She'll broaden it, but she'll recalibrate it. Somebody else mentioned kids, right? They'll put the focus where it needs to be. You know what I mean? Once you have kids and a wife, you're going to be focused. Now that focus should be unshakable. It should be focused on your kids and your wife and whatever is necessary to see to it that they're successful. Even if your focus is broadened a little bit, it is acutely pointed in that direction, and that's it. Outside of that, you just have to strive to refuse to let this woman affect your focus in any way, shape, or form. If she hasn't made that list and made the cut, and if she's not up there with the kids, then you got too much to
If it can,
compromise.
are you asking if it can happen, or if I mean, are you trying to frame the question like, can a man that's focused, can he get distracted? Or
You're muted, JR.
Yeah, I was just trying to ask if anything can distract him. Like if he's truly focused, if he on his grind, he on his mission, can anyone really distract him? Let me ask you guys this: should a man build first or build with someone?
I
It
think,
should
I think
build.
that depends.
It should build first.
It
I think it
depends.
depends. I agree with Mont. It depends.
Okay, what's it depend on? Straight like that.
Let's say I'm out with my boys. They got into something. I didn't know what was going on. I'm in the car with them. I have no idea what's going on. I get pulled over. I get hooked. I get jammed up for like 5 years. Come out of jail in 5 years. Met this sister. She's very cute. She knows my situation. And then I said, "Hey, I don't got nothing right now, but I'm on my way building." So she's like, "Cool, I can help you build while you get back on your feet." I think you can have a situation like that to where you don't necessarily have anything yet, but you can find somebody that motivated you and you guys can build together on that way.
Okay. Sure. What you got?
I think everybody's journey is slightly different. You know, your upbringing, your father, you know, whether you have somebody to help you vet a woman. I know for me, like my judgment now is vastly different than when I was 25, than when I was 26, 27. So, and that's through experience from being with women and being out there in the field on my own. I kind of gathered a bunch of knowledge that way. I didn't necessarily have somebody to put that knowledge or that wisdom inside of me versus you may have been raised with somebody who, you know, or a mentor or somebody who actually could help guide you and go through that vetting process with you so that you actually pick a woman that is good for you and that you can build with and you can grow with. Another thing is like I've experienced a lot of women in my life, so now I can say that like I'm completely fulfilled when it comes to that. And I don't know if I would say everybody needs to experience that or not, which is why I say it depends. Like I don't like some guys may not need to experience different women. They might be like, yo, I got her, I'm good for the rest of my life. I think as far as for my growth, me experiencing them women kind of made me who I am. So I don't know.
Okay. Hank, you muted, big dog.
Yeah, thank you. My bad. I know with me, being that I got married again later on in life, of course, it's gonna affect me. You know, and I was already built before she became my wife. So, you know, I can kind of agree with what the fellows are saying. It depends. So, like in my situation, it depends because I'm building with my wife later on down after I already built a lot already, and my wife was able to come marry into it and be able to benefit. Now, am I still building? Yes, but the majority of what I got now was already there, was already built, was already established. So
Hank, did you get the prenup when you got married the second time?
no.
All right. So the reason why I said that it's better to build first is because as a man, you need to have that table together that you're going to ask a woman, what is she bringing something to? You need to have everything in order for her to come in and do the things that you prioritize as a partner instead of having to come in and also maintain balance between being a partner and being an adult. So for me, having everything together before I pick my woman is why that I can, one, pick the type of women I have, have the requirements that I have, and then two, also remove her from the workforce so she can build and work towards that I want to do. She can build, like she can work for the businesses or the purposes or initiatives that I have, and then find a few of her own that we can get her started and have her work towards as well. When you have everything together before she gets there, you get to maintain your frame, and then two, your position as the leader and provider is unequivocally set. So that's why, and it's a lot of men would benefit if they had their stuff together to that degree before they got with women. Because typically men that have their stuff together when they get with women in this manner don't have a lot of the problems that other men have.
I'll agree with that.
Catch your question,
All right.
Willie.
Yeah.
Would you say that the women you were with before, would you say that you built with them, or how would you characterize that?
I built in spite of them.
You built in spite of them, right? But was your goal at that time to, you get married? I think I'm going to build with somebody.
No.
Okay. My question is, if you could go back, and because you've been through probably several relationships that were long-term relationships. If you could go back, what would you do? And you can't go back and have all the knowledge you have now. However,
Right.
if you could just go back and at that time, like kind of just change something, what would you change?
I wouldn't have been in a relationship until I was in my late 30s or not late 30s. I got, you know, hit my stride around 30.
Mhm.
So I would have focused on my purpose instead of my penis and, you know, having fun and pleasure. I would have focused on, you know, building the skills that took me that much longer to build because I was trying to be a good husband. I was trying to be romantic. I was trying to do all the other things that took my time away from me from moving towards my purpose. So if I could go back and do it all over again, I wouldn't even consider being in a relationship until I was already established. It'd be the furthest thing from my mind. I'd have just been on, I did have spells where in between relationships where I was like telling them like, listen, I can only do A, B, and C. If you want D, E, and F, you get that from somebody else.
Yeah.
So I probably would have had that's all that I would have allowed myself to commit to with a woman as far as like romantically speaking. And then, you know, hit my stride a little earlier.
Do you think that, how much do you think you learned from going through all of that? And do you think you needed to learn those things to be who you are right now? And if not, how else would you have acquired that knowledge if it was important?
I don't think that as far as what my purpose is and the things that I do to
be able, I'm assuming you think that you can be a great leader and a great man and a man that a woman needs in her life.
Mm-hmm.
You think you still would have been the same person right now without those lessons that you learned and things you've been through?
Yeah, because that's part of my purpose. Part of my purpose has always been to be a leader. Like I understand that I understood early that I'm not a follower. I'm not a good employee. I'm not somebody I'm just unemployable for the majority of things. If it's not something I want to do, I'm not going to do it. Just my personality type. So, you know, the fact that I survived my military career with that mindset, you know, is probably the only thing that I would have needed to do. The lessons I learned there, the things that I've learned about women in relationship is just their nature. I've learned that the things that I've been through, aside from you saying the three niggas and the midget part, aside from everything else, that's just what women do. All the issues that I've had with women, they're not special. They're not unique to me. They're not unique to them. It's just it's just things that people go through. I don't feel that any situation I've had, for the most part, is special or anything that I couldn't have learned from one of you niggas. I could have seen somebody else go through it and learn the same lesson. So do I appreciate the lessons that I've learned? 100%. Just because of I find the lessons in all the bad things or the good things. But did I need that to get to where I am now? To like, you know, the businessman, the father part, you know, the protector, provider part? No, because I was raised by one. So I've always, to a degree, just been imitating what my father emulated.
Yeah. I guess if I could add something, I think that I would have never known that, like, if I would have got with somebody early, I'm not sure if I would have ever been happy. Now I'm not gonna say happy. I don't know if I would have ever felt fulfilled with that person. You know, being with different women, I learned what it is like to actually appreciate a woman and not appreciate a woman, even though you're with her. You know, like I've been with women who like they put on lingerie and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, just be naked. Like we fucking like why? What's the purpose of lingerie? Versus, you know, my current woman where I'm like, oh, this is what lingerie is about. I appreciate you and I love you. And every time you do this for me, it feels special. You know, like other women, I didn't give that to them. Like I just, it kind of felt stupid to me. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, naked is better than having clothes on. So I was, you know, but it's different now. So I don't know if I'd have been robbing women of having that, of being with a man who really appreciates. I don't know, but yeah.
But you're a different person, bro. But I love it though.
Let me ask this question: do men choose based on attraction instead of alignment? Do men choose
Starts
attraction?
off as attraction.
Well, so to get through the funnel, that's part of it. That's the first filter that most of us have is the attraction. And although it may sound lame or superficial, but listen, if I got a bone like you forever and that's it, then we probably should filter for that first, right? When you think about one of the main reasons why men will stray or you know, men will become frustrated with the woman. So yeah, that we have to go. The attraction is heavily weighed. Should that be the only thing? Absolutely not. But the more you build yourself as a man, the more you have access to women who have more attributes that you would appreciate. But yeah, we're always going to start there. That's the first thing we notice. If you're not attractive, then we're probably not even going to approach you.
I don't think that's superficial.
You're
That's
not
true.
concerned about alignment at all. Trey,
Say that again.
so you're saying you're not concerned about alignment, really?
No, that's what you got out of what I just said. Damn, I probably didn't deliver that well. No, so what I'm saying is that's the first filter through the funnel,
Okay.
right? So that's there. We start there. Like for real, that's what we do. We don't. A female coming here right now, you're not gonna be like, "Damn, she looks smart." No, like you know what I'm saying? She looks like a nurturer for real. Nah, the first thing that's gonna catch your eye is that attraction.
Wait,
If
let-
you stop there, is when you get the trouble. That's
Trev, you don't see
that's
some
the main
women.
thing.
You don't see some women and be like, "Oh, she look nurturing," or she looks like she intelligent, maybe at all.
Mm.
Yeah, how do you notice that from how do you know-
After she get through the cute filter, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
You don't see that
second, third thing I'm looking for, and she probably gonna have to open up her mouth a little bit to for me to understand that part of it.
Hey Trev, I bet you that you have seen women that did look nurturing, but they weren't attractive, so you don't remember them.
Well, yeah,
So it's-
that's
well,
what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
still
That's
goes
what I'm
to
saying.
his
The
point.
look filter, you got to
Yeah.
get through the look filter first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the top of the funnel. For you to get to the bottom, you have to pass that look filter. You're not getting past that.
Like, what's the
That's
one thing?
going-
What's the one interaction you can have, or not say interaction, but one thing you can do without somebody's permission? You can see them, you can observe them.
Yeah.
So men are going to observe 1,000 times the women that they talk to, and then of those women, once you have to even to want to talk to a woman, she has to be somewhat attractive, or you have to see some value in her of something that you can accomplish by talking to her. Otherwise, nobody. For the most part, men, we're just not going up and dry ass talking to women for no reason. So, like he said, the first thing is the looks. That's what gets us that's what gets us interested. And then we have the conversation, and after that conversation, where we can discern alignment, values, morals, all of those things. Worldview is a big one for me. But if I'm not even having that conversation with somebody that's ugly, or that I'm not attracted to, I'm not even interested in what her worldviews are.
You was right the first time, Willie.
Yeah, if she looks like the girl from that Tarkebrean chick you was on the show with, I don't care how she looks. I don't care. I don't care what she thinks. Everything that she thinks is a moot point at some point. After I decide that she's unattractive to me, so like I don't even place value. I barely place value in her as a person once she's not attractive to me.
Yeah.
So
I would argue that like instantly when we see women, we start putting them into the bucket, right? Either the bucket of I fuck you, I fuck the dog shit out you, or like, oh, you look like because that determines how we approach them. It's certain women you approach you right at them. Like what's up?
there's a filter for the filter for sure.
Yeah, what you getting into later types. And it's another one when you like, yo, I just wanted to ask you, are you married? Like, why don't I see a ring on your finger? It's two different types. We already putting you in a bucket based on,
If me, you, and White, or Hink's married, so I can't use him. And Big Aaron went to the black rodeo. None of us would be going to the black rodeo with our mindset of looking for a wife.
Oh, for
If
sure.
we were trying to go in there and just knock some shit down. If we were looking for a wife, that's not somewhere that we would go. But if we just going to go get something to have fun, and you know what I'm saying, nailed to the cross, that's the type of event we would go to. We would go to like networking events, mixers, or corporate issue or corporate like events to find professional women that we can connect with and build with on that other level. But going to the black rodeo, you're just trying to find something to ride.
Hey, so the second part of that question was asking about alignment. What does that alignment look like for you guys?
Definition of the word.
To me, alignment means that morally, that's one major thing. She has to be able to take direction. You ain't aligned with me if you can't take direction. That's just that for me, at least. Some people would say politically. I've been seeing that a lot now. Like if you're looking at the dating apps and nonsense like that, people are literally like, you'll see women denying you for, no Trump fans. Like that'll be their opener. So I'm like, damn. So I guess that's important now because I would not be around somebody who's coming at my neck for that, who feels that passionate about it. Right. So that's another thing. Family values for sure. Right. How many children do you want? What types of discipline would you practice? those type of things. Financials, credit score. How do you spend your money? What type of debt did you acquire over your lifetime? Those are all things that are important to me. And yeah, I'll leave it there.
All right. Anybody else want to answer that question?
I think alignment, of course, the things that need to be congruent are congruent, but also the things that should be complementary are so. Meaning, where you're strong or where you're weak, she should have strengths. Where you're strong is where you can tolerate weaknesses in her. That way, you kind of sort of you fit like a Lego. Negative space is filled by the opposing attribute. You know what I mean? But in cases where that's necessary, right? There's some places where you don't want to be oppositional, like with political leaning and stuff like that. You want to be parallel and congruent that way.
I know earlier we was discussing about building, and some people on the panel said that you should probably build first before you hop in a relationship. With that being said, when you build, are you dating younger women at this time, or are you dating women the same age as you after you build?
I mean, if you're trying to build a family, I don't see. I mean, I guess you can do a woman. It depends on how old the guy is, but typically you're gonna get somebody younger because she can have kids, especially if you don't got kids yet and you want to have a family. Unless you have all your kids already and you're not really worried about that. But I'm just saying, like for me, when I was looking for a wife, I was looking for a woman that can bear kids. Because I wanted to have more kids.
Yeah.
My wife.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, my wife is the first youngest woman I've ever laid eyes or hands on. I got her by about 18 months. Before her, I was at least 2 to 3 years junior to the woman I was dating from the beginning. So for me to answer that question is a little, my experience there is a little avant-garde.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I think alignment looked like what I think it was Trev that said, that somebody that's able to like follow and get into with whatever program or plan I got going on. Because you hit that fork in the road, if you're not in alignment, that's almost a guaranteed divorce or separation. When people got opposing minds or they can't get on one accord, that relationship is very temporary. So for it to be alignment, y'all got to be moving in the same direction, whatever direction that is. So y'all stay together when y'all hit the bumps in the road, as opposed to the separation.
And Mark, let me ask you a follow-up question. Would you say that when you were younger, you were given more grace at a younger age? Has that standard always been there? Or when you got older, you just started to realize the things that you didn't want to tolerate?
I think it got worse as I got older, when I got to know myself more. I think younger, I was trying to, explore and figure out what I actually liked, and, trying to figure out who I was as a man and what, meshed well with me as a person. As I got older, I realized that there were some non-negotiables within myself that I needed to be honest about, and find people that understood, find somebody that could understand that, and how that will work out in a relationship with me. And longevity is the key, right? Building a family and staying together and not separating and creating a divorce or separate households and all these extra things. So in gaining age and wisdom and thinking for the long term, it almost became an absolute that had to happen in order for these standards, because I could see, like, I could almost predict how things would end if I couldn't find somebody that could follow directions and be in alignment. Because I'm not going to be, like I said before, I'm not going to sit around and argue with somebody all day and try and convince you that I'm going in the right direction or that you should be going along with what I got going on. I think I always kind of had that mentality that I'm not about to argue with you all day, but the way that you went about accomplishing how we interacted, or the parameters in which we interact with each other, I think that became stricter as I went through relationships and began to understand how different people communicate, and how some of the things that can become toxic traits that I see in other relationships, how I absolutely don't want them around me, and how to spot those things at a distance. and self segregate, so I don't even have to deal with that stuff.
Okay. So is the issue the relationship or the man's standard and discipline?
The man's standard and discipline, because the man gives the relationship. So it's like your budget is, if you overspending your money, is it because you don't have enough money, or because you just overspending your money? Like, you got enough money to do what you need to do, but you're choosing to go blow it on all this extra shit. It's the money ain't the issue. It's how you discipline yourself with it. You choosing to give a relationship to a woman that's gonna give you hell, that's unruly, that you can't get along with, that's cantankerous, that's argumentative, that's vindictive, that's all these extra things that make life difficult. And then you be mad at her. No, they could be mad at yourself. You knew she was like this when you first met her. You knew she was like this when you walked through the door. You knew she was like this when you were smashing. You knew she was like this when you watched her with her family, and you was like, damn, that ass though. You knew she was like this. So nigga, it's on you. You can't really get mad at her. Shit, she being herself. You accepted that shit and then kept moving forward and offer her the opportunity to say, hey, let's make some, permanent out of this. That's all on you. I can't blame women for that. We got to have some discretion and some discernment as men when it comes to looking at the scenarios. Like, yeah, this ain't right for me. And know how to be able to say no and walk away. I think a lot of times men suffer from lack of options or opportunities, so they'll accept anything in order to have someone around, when really you'd be better off by yourself, or finding somebody that meshed, that was in alignment with you, that may not have been the ideal attraction level or something. Like you might have to give somewhere depending on what your attributes are. So yeah.
All right, this question is for the panel. Does being in a relationship add pressure while a man is building? Or do men fail to communicate what they actually need?
Can you say it again?
I do think it does apply pressure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I do. But that could be a good pressure for you. You know what I'm saying? Now it could maybe have you increase maybe whatever goal you have set, or the time limit you may have. It may force you to move it up.
Yeah, this question again, does being in a relationship add pressure while a man is building, or do men fail to communicate what they actually need?
Relationship.
I think that Hank. Go
ahead.
All right. I think Hank is very optimistic about it, and I appreciate you for that. However, I experienced that myself. Well, I got completely derailed. It can absolutely be a distraction. Like when I was like way young, I know for a fact that if I were just, more focused on my shit, I would be fine. But again, if you don't know how to navigate in relationships, then you're going to put a lot of energy that way. And you don't realize at that time how women really operate. You don't realize that if a woman would have saw you under your grind and ignoring her because of your grind, that she actually would have respected it more than you trying to acquiesce for her time. That's the thing about it. And that just goes back to like one of those sayings: you don't lose women chasing money, you lose money chasing women. So absolutely, I feel like that you can be distracted from it. If you're trying to build, then you need to build. You need to build at that time. If you're not where you want to be in life, then whatever dealings you have, then you have to just do it limited. If there's a woman who's willing to sacrifice and grind with you during that time period, and you let her know what it is, this is all I got to give you. I think Willie referred to that a bit earlier. Then that's what she's gonna get. And if she is patient enough to be around during that, when I hit the finish line, then you get to be a part of that.
But Trevor, I think that goes back to the second part of JR's question. Most men fail to communicate what they're trying to do. Now that's something within themselves, why they fail to let it be known. And again, I'm talking about in marriage. Most of my plans and what we was in a stage where I was engaged to her before I broke down the plan that I had, not only for myself, but I had the plan for her and this family. But I made sure I communicated that so there'll be a level of understanding. So when she sees me in my office 3 or 4 hours grinding, looking at his computer, doing what I need to do, he already knows what it is. Do not disturb, without even putting a sign up. She already knows what it is. She know ain't no funny business. She's already know what's going on, what the plan is, what I plan on doing, my schedule, when I plan on doing it, everything, because I communicated, because I let it know, be upfront. Now, if you can't handle it, if you can't deal with it, don't walk down the aisle with me. Don't get blessed with my goddamn last name, because this is what I'm doing. This is my plan, and this is how it's going to happen. It may make me take another 3 to 4 months for the pop. It may take 2 years down the road. So be it. If you're going to be down with me, then be down with me.
For the question, it's the way it's framed is kind of weird because like it creates like a false dilemma, like or and then also it kind of like assigns blame to the person. And is being in a relationship add pressure? Yes, because it's a relationship that you're responsible for and you have to participate in. So the weight of carrying that relationship or even your portion of the relationship is added pressure, but that doesn't inherently mean that a man isn't communicating what he actually needs. It's just that our relationship is a responsibility. Responsibilities add pressure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The question was, does a relationship add pressure to a man when he's building? I would say the relationship adds pressure to a man when he's breathing.
Damn. Okay.
So you feel like it was loaded pretty much.
Well, not just that it's not that it's loaded. It's just like the way that the sentence is structured. Like if he had said like when a man is in his building phase, does like the real issue the relationship, his relationship, their communication, or just being with someone he doesn't align with. Like that's like if we're asking that question, then that's a separate conversation. But the way that it's asked, it does assign blame. It's either it makes you have to choose between yes or no. Is he at fault? Is he not at fault? And we can't say that just because a relationship is pressure to a man, that means that he's not communicative or that he hasn't conveyed what he wants from that person.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Are men expecting support they never clearly define?
Well, I was going to say, I think that it absolutely adds pressure because I think most men have a innate want to provide for their families and their woman. I don't think men and typically ideally like 50-50 and stuff like that, but at a certain point in your relationship, it makes sense to do that. And you kind of put pressure on yourself to like, yo, I know what my plan is, I know what my vision is, but you want more for yourself and for your relationship, your woman, your kids. So I think it absolutely does add, because if you just by yourself, it's like, yo, I'm cool. Like most of the men I know, we can sleep on an air mattress in an apartment with no furniture and we good, right? We can rock out, buckle down, get money. Women, they want the whole house furnished and all that type of stuff. So, and I'm pretty sure most of us want to give that to our woman, even though we know if we can chill out and eat noodles and sleep on an air mattress, we would, because that's the best option as far as investing and saving. But we know we can't. If we got a woman, we know we kind of gotta give a little bit. We meet in the middle a little.
I know what y'all. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, I definitely can hear it.
Okay. Somebody playing like a theater or something? Like a movie.
I thought you hit the button by accident.
It might be DJ.
I thought you was doing that the month or some shit. I'm like, damn, what kind of theme music you got on this ass right now? I sound like it was Shaft or some shit going on back there. Like, what's going on?
Pause. I'm like, I thought that might have been from Moss' background. I'm like, the only one talking. Anybody else want to add anything on that question before I move to the next one? Like, are men expecting support they never clearly define?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was doing. So I think that. I think that yeah, it's hard for men to define something, especially early in the relationship or early in your youth, if you're not really sure what you're gonna need. As I was saying earlier, like my needs and wants and my expectations for myself and people around me changed. It does get harder when you're in a relationship, when you're growing at the same time as the relationship is growing, because you're trying to figure out who you are and what you can actually bring realistically to the table. And what you might have liked at 21 might be very different from at 25. So it gets harder to voice and communicate that exactly. I think that's one aspect. The other aspect is some men just won't tell a woman exactly what they want or need out of fear of losing her, or out of fear of just wanting to shoulder all the responsibility and just power through whatever. Like, I'm a man, I got this. Even though I may need a little bit of help or assistance, I'm not gonna put that on your shoulders. So I'll just figure it out. And if you're gonna do that, you can't then blame her for not giving you the assistance that you never asked for. Like, you know what I mean? You can't be mad if you don't get what you never asked for.
If you want an easy way to look at it is this: name something in life that gets less complicated or easier when there are fewer rules in place. I mean, when there are more rules in place, when there are more requirements placed on the person for, or the metric for success, or the distance you have to go to get to something is extended instead of shortened. If you can't, you understand why a relationship is definitely going to add pressure on anybody who's in one.
What, DJ? Do you want to add anything? I'll go to the next question.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's just a normal expectation of reciprocity and consideration. And sometimes folks think that they may not need to communicate that it's just human decency to consider that, you know, I may need to work harder or longer hours, and you be able to deal with that and give me a little bit more support, considering I am going to be taking on more responsibility now that you are in my life. And you'll probably get into a mode of frustration, and you need to actually communicate that. But guys may be going through a situation where they actually think it's just normal for somebody to say, oh, I see that he needs help, so let me help him out. And if that doesn't get done, they'll just sit in the frustration like, damn, how come this person doesn't naturally want to step in and help me out or ask me how they can?
Why do some men reach another level after a breakup? Why do some men reach another level after a breakup?
That rebound, you get that motivation. It's just one of them things. Sometimes it's just vengeance. You want to get back at the joint. You want to show them, prove to them, like, yo, I'm about to one up your punk ass. Not to say that's the best way, but that's what happens to a lot of gentlemen. And sometimes you just get that clarity, right? You get out of a situation. It feels like a rebirth. Like you out of a situation, you have a chance for a new opportunity, and you realize, sometimes you sit in retrospect and you realize every single thing that you did wrong. And then you realize everything that you need to do to be in a better position to do it right. And you take that opportunity.
I don't agree with that necessarily, because that sounds like what women do. Women are the ones that get out of a relationship and, go drop 200 pounds, and they call it the revenge body. With men, we simply just have the time to go do other things now. We don't have to spend 4 or 5 hours a day texting you. We don't have to come home and watch the bullshit show that you want to watch. We don't have to come home. We have fewer rules now. So we went from playing Madden on all Madden to now we're just playing on professional. It's easier. Like, we have so much more time to go do things that make us happy or move the needle for us. So we just get to reallocate that time to doing things that we want to do that make us better. Like, I don't think that any man should just be out of a breakup and be like, oh, you cheated on me, so I'm going to go make myself into a man that has more money than the guy you cheated with. That's gay. Like, that's probably something like the most, I'm trying to think of bitch made shit a guy could do. Like, if your motivation for going to make yourself better is to get back at a female, you are a female.
So Willie, I really don't feel like you would do this, right? But you haven't seen anything on your feed like when the dudes be like they thought the divorce would break me and they'd be fat as hell, losing their hair, grayed out and everything. Then they you'll see them up in the gym and then coming out like Colossus or something crazy after the fact. Like I think sometimes we ignore the fact that men have emotions and there's way more emotional men than I think there are stoic men in real life.
100%.
I don't think that's the way it should be. But in we always speaking in generalities, and I think that when that shit hurts, I mean these type of sayings and stuff like when we say that men are in love and women are in business, that shit does break you. A lot of us, I know it. Some of us are we stone cold. We jumped out of ever since we came out of vagina. We spent all of our time getting back in it. I get it, all that shit. But your average man, listen, man, that shit breaks him. And it is a time to rebuild. It fucks you up because you've invested your life into it. You've invested your life into protecting them. You've invested your life into, as far as with your money, you've sacrificed so much for you, yourself, your kids. A lot of times that shit is stripped away from you, or every plan that you had for that future is just ripped from underneath you. They really just pull the rug on your ass. So you have to now adapt to this, and a part of you is gone. God forbid you went through a divorce and child support. Hell yeah, you broke. You fucked up now, and your life is different. And you want to do something, the little that you think you could, to make yourself better. Not to say that you're going to see my story like that, where you're like, oh damn, look at this cat. But yeah, it happens to a lot of people. More, I think, my humble opinion, I think more so than not. When we start to look at the averages and where we stand, we know that 2/3 of us are overweight. We know that most of us are not financially sound. We know that most of us are not stoic. Most of us don't make decisions that are sound in life. Then we start to see like, damn, yeah, most of these guys probably, and I don't know, I don't have all the answers, but I think probably we'll get a lot of guys that will react like that.
Well, Trev, I don't think he's saying that it's not allowed to break you. We're all human, right? He's just saying like you can respond in a gay manner, like you can respond like a woman or you can respond like a hoe, and that's what the thing about having homies. Hopefully, you got homies to be like, yo, nah, that's some hoe shit, bro. We not doing that. We just you're gonna move on. You're gonna work on yourself. You're just gonna be a better person. But it's not gonna be. We're not getting. It's like cheating back. Like cheating back is gay. Yeah. Right. We moving on and
you leave. Yeah, you leave. Yeah, like, for sure. For sure.
I've seen breakups create a bunch of bodybuilders. I give you that. Like nothing because niggas go to the gym because they need something. They need an outlet. That's how we process our emotions. So like way some niggas go to the gym. I went to the gun range. That was my that was my safe spot. Weirdly enough, right? But nothing about my bag or my business acumen or the way that I was dedicated to my business changed or got enhanced anyway because I wanted to get back at my son's mother. Like that's never crossed my mind. It's never. And then you ask me, do I see it on my timeline? I can say honestly that I don't, because again, most of my friends are married. I'm the only one that's not for the most part. And then two, I don't hang around like bitch made guys who want to go get revenge bodies or get revenge bags for women. Like that's something that I wouldn't, if I peep that in you, it's something I try to distance myself from. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but I would like to give men the benefit of the doubt, given that I am pretty hard on men, that the majority of us don't look at it that way. A guy may want to get better so he doesn't have to go through what he went through before. Like, if a girl says, he broke up, she called him fat. So now he's in the gym, so his next girl can't call him fat. Or, when you break up, it seems like anytime a woman breaks up with a dude, you see her posting or, she talking about how little his dick is on Instagram. So now he may go out and do some Kegels or something to, try to lose a little. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You may try to go fix it somehow, but nobody is really out here just like, that bitch cheated on me, so I'm going to get a bag, a Bentley, Patek, and a big-ass house so I don't get cheated on again. Like that's how women move.
I think so it could. I think it could be cumulative too. Like there could be a series of breakups, a series of heartbreaks, a series of disappointments, and not necessarily so much about the woman, but just about that feeling you had or that space that you feel like you were in and never wanting to return from it. Right. So it might not be all about her. You just want to build yourself because you like shit. Now I actually have the time to do it. Now I could really get busy. Like, okay, I don't have nothing holding me back. And you may realize what those type of results will get you, because it won't just be about no one. It won't be about, it'll be for you. Because as a byproduct, every part of development as a man, you have to walk around with that. You're going to walk around looking better. You're going to walk around being healthier. You're going to be able to do things with your money. You're going to be able to travel more. So all of those benefits that you would do to try to get a woman are as a byproduct are more beneficial to you. And hopefully the woman part is the byproduct and you want to build into yourself.
I get that. I mean, we see a lot of dudes doing like weird girly shit. Like Buddy just in the chat just said, niggas want to go get leg extensions so they can be taller. Like I think that's
that's been happening a lot. A lot. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
In the world to me. And even though, right, I tell people all the time, God knew what he was doing by only making me 6 feet tall and not 6'6". He knew what he was doing. Because again, I don't need any more help. I don't need any more other cheat codes because I'll be a very different person, I'm sure. These niggas are going to go get their legs broken, having to relearn how to walk, run, and crawl. Yeah. So just because somebody told them that 5'8" ain't a real man, or they want to be 6'2", 6'3" now because
so now they walk around like grasshoppers with some long ass legs.
Bro, did you see that the dude with the dreads that told he was like, yeah, my girl left. My girlfriend did. She broke up with me, and the guy she broke up with was a basketball player. So now the nigga, he went from being 5'7" to 6'1". That's not a basketball height, nigga.
How much he paid for that? What? How much he paid for that surgery?
A lot.
I think it was
they going overseas and doing it.
It's not the surgery, bro. It's the recovery time that'll kill you. Like imagine having to learn how to walk at fucking 30.
Yeah.
All because somebody told you were short. Like, does that make sense?
That's crazy.
Well, I know. Go ahead, man.
Like, what would you do, Hink, if your son said, "Daddy, I want to come. Listen, can I borrow him 50 grand real quick? Because I'm only 5'7", and my girl said she like niggas at 6'3". And if I go overseas, I can get 6 inches added to my height, but I'm gonna have to learn how to walk, run, and crawl again. Can I stay in your basement?"
No, we ain't doing that. Just find a girl who likes 5'7". You be fine. But to say what we're saying, it's crazy because men do these things. They just don't talk about it. They just don't broadcast it. So as far as the men saying, well, we don't do it. Yeah, we do it. We just don't talk about it. We're not going to go out here and tell, or this our shoot videos or make streams or talk about it like that. We're just going to go out and do it because we know we need to do it. Like you said, that was our outlet to go work out or to go, maybe go to a boxing ring and box a little bit, or go to the gun range, like you said, Willie, just to shoot. But we're not gonna go out there and make a whole spectacle out of the bullshit. We're just gonna go do what we got to do because it's gonna help us feel better, and that's our way to relieve some of that stress, the frustration, or whatever it is you're going through.
Yeah, that would be like, imagine if y'all found out I had a thing against midgets right now, y'all would think that I was tripping, right? Like if y'all niggas, well, in white, but I'm just saying, like if y'all saw me, we was out and I saw some midgets in person, and I got real mad, like and wanted to fight.
I would think that midget was one of the midgets from that day. See, or the midget from that day. I was like,
that shit would be weird. That shit would be super weird. Like, why am I mad at the midget instead of, you know what I'm saying, mad at the bitch that was, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain things that men shouldn't do. And this revenge bag body shit, leave that to the ladies.
I think it can be used somewhat as an inspiration, but not so much the sole purpose to where it becomes your everyday life. Like, okay, if like to hint to what Willie was saying, you got more time now. Yeah, you do have more time, and you do need an outlet. I think also one of the bigger things is that in that time of, breaking up or heartbreak, you may realize that you can truly only depend on you. It just that actual statement becomes more real to you. And so you lock in because really, truly, when it comes down to it, you can only depend on you. And if you do actually get somebody else that you can depend on, that's a bonus. It just kind of sets a more realistic baseline for you.
Well, is that do you think that's a healthy way to look at that? It's like, all right, well, I can only depend on myself because the woman that I was with, was a bad woman or made bad choices.
I wouldn't
Then now I
put it
can
as
only
bad
depend on.
woman.
Yeah, maybe the second one, then the second thing I said then. Um,
I
the
would
one who made
say
bad choices.
it just is what it is. Not everybody is always going to be with you in all the stages of your growing. And in the back of your mind, you know that. And so maybe you're more cognizant of it when you go through it with newer people. But having somebody that can definitely have your back 100% of the time is not something that's guaranteed. But if you get it, you recognize it as a bonus and not something that you set your mind to expect. So if that's broken, you're not broken with it.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, I think a lot of people, when they go through things like that, it kind of turns them off towards other people. When I think that, okay, you had a bad apple. However, there are people that you can depend on in this world, and there are more people out there, and you can change your vetting process or change, the people you've been around in your circle, whatever your network, and you can meet better people. Versus just saying, you know what, it's the people, you can't depend on nobody. So I don't know. I tend to
Yeah.
think that it's better to ask yourself, what can I do to change my outcomes? And I guess you could say, oh, just don't depend on nobody. But also, there are like, you can have a bad homies, or homies that make poor decisions, and then it's like, yo, it's a whole bunch of men out here who you can have in your network that you actually can provide you value and can benefit you in life, and you can depend on, So I don't know.
I would say
So
if
what?
like if somebody does let you down in the future, it's not to you, it's not the end of the world at that point. It's like, okay, people do make mistakes. It's all right. But if I truly need to get something done, I can ask somebody to do it for me, and you're just more appreciative that they can. But at the end of the day, just in reality, you are responsible for those things. That's all.
Yeah, well, you can
Yeah,
have you can have what do you call it, PTSD, no?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go through, like, if you mess with a woman, she devalued your contribution to what you provided for her, and you met another woman, and you're gonna kind of be, like, whoa, let me see where this goes first before I just jump off this ledge again. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for me, I was like, I took a lot of personal stock to my point. Like, what did I do wrong within this relationship? And I was like, a whole fucking lot. And how do I put myself in a position to not do the same things repetitively? So I end up with the same result, take the personal accountability. And just kind of reformat like that. That's a chance to grow and redefine your standards, boundaries, and who you are as a person. As far as, all right, so some of the things that bothered you in that previous relationship, you have the opportunity now in a new relationship to start from scratch, indicating that this is going to be an issue. A lot of times you'll notice something, but it's past the point of like that grace period where you're figuring out the other person, and it's going to be you feel it's going to be an issue to address it now and really like speak to that issue and like get to the meat and potatoes. Hey, this is unacceptable when you've already previously accepted it. It's really hard to set a standard after you've allowed something to occur for so long. But in
So
the new
go ahead. So White though, have you ever got your heart broken though, like and had to worry about that part of it?
The one time I got but I told you I got caught cheating a whole lot of times, and then she finally left my ass. That's the one time, and I figured this shit out. Like, all right, this how I'm gonna moving forward. I'm not gonna do this shit. I'm like, why would I be not keeping it real with a woman that was holding me down more than anybody, as opposed to trying to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be just super solid with my homies, and then hide this portion of who I am, from her. Instead, I'm just gonna shit. There's me, accept it and move forward. But like, have I ever like got left and she went with another man and I was that shit ain't never really happened to me.
Can
Like,
we take a second and point out that you're not coming out of a relationship with PTSD unless there was a threat of death, sexual violence, or serious injury. So men, please don't start using that I got PTSD shit when talking about failed relationships because it's clinically it's not true. You can't have trauma.
I'm being hyperbolic, but I was just
let's not be hyperbolic about that, those types of things, because again, words have meanings. And if women see men doing it, then they'll think it's okay to do the same shit, and it's not. Because nobody's coming out of a relationship getting PTSD, aside from those who like seriously injured, were essayed or were threatened with unaliving. And even that will still take a little bit to substantiate. We just got to stop using these psychology words like women do.
Well, I just looked up the definition of PTSD because I was curious.
One second, Mon. I'm asking Willie, what word would be more appropriate if you went into a bad relationship and you have trauma from it? What would be the most appropriate word? Trauma? Okay. Go ahead, Mon.
Well, yeah. So this is what it says: post-traumatic stress disorder is a mental health condition triggered by experiencing or witnessing terrifying events such as war, abuse, or accident. Symptoms including flashbacks, nightmares, severe anxiety, uncontrollable thoughts about the event, last over a month, or interfere with daily functioning. So of course, I think that we can't diagnose anything ourselves. However, those things on that list can actually happen from a bad heartbreak or a bad situation. But of course, we can't diagnose things. We shouldn't be, kind of, playing the role of a clinician.
War, abuse, and accident. War meaning combat, the threat of life. Abuse meaning, like you said, SA or accident. We're talking about like car accident. We're not talking about accidentally.
Big Aaron, respectfully, I don't think that you're allowed to just kind of narrow abuse down to that small thing or two things. I think it can be more vast than that.
It absolutely can, but we're not just talking about a relationship breakup. We're talking about egregious behavior. I mean, severely egregious behavior. Mm-hmm. That's not just simply a relationship breakup.
Well, let's say if whatever you went through causes you to have flashbacks and nightmares or uncontrollable thoughts and events that interfere with your daily life, do you think that would qualify as some sort of trauma or PTSD?
Who doing that after they break up?
Yeah, what relationship breakups are called?
So when you go back, ask ChatGPT, what is the threshold for diagnosing someone with PTSD? It'll tell you the same three things I just told you.
Okay, this was just Google. I ain't even asked AI.
Yeah, so just ask ChatGPT what are the clinical thresholds for diagnosing someone with PTSD? It'll give you the same three things I just told you. That's just not happening in a relationship. Or
I'm gonna use the word trauma. I'm gonna use the word trauma, like Willie said. But
jaded.
That's fine. I'll use whatever word. I was just being hyperbolic, but if he doesn't want me to use, that's fine. I'll just use trauma. What I'm saying is, if a person, like if you're in a relationship and a woman lied to you about a child that your guys are having and it's not really your child, that will cause some trauma, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. And then, there's something called PI, right? Instead of
but I'm not going to get into the definition of the word. I just meant that's what I was trying to get to.
So they have post infidelity stress disorder, which is probably one of the things that you might be able to describe, which is weird, but that's an actual thing, right? No, I ain't making up. I said women.
Listen,
probably.
The APA is ran by two women, and both of them have published several articles about how men need to do better, and they seem very misandrous, but they're also the ones who push out everything that comes from the APA. So all of these therapists and shit are being trained by women who hate men, which would make it make sense to why so many therapists seem to be misandrous in the way that they counsel men. And then why men don't want to go to counseling. I think one of the ladies' name is Linda Wolf or some shit like that, and the other one got a crazy name, like the CEO and president.
That one.
When I used to watch that show, me and Mark would watch Ayanla Fix My Life or whatever, and when I see the relationships that go on. Bro, it was almost like anytime she felt a man was like too masculine or he was moving like with a commanding presence, she was attempting to break that relationship instantly. Like it was offensive to them if they didn't have these men groveling and in like a position of like weakness or submission. And I saw her break up like 2 relationships where I was like, you can help him, but you can't speak to him like that. Like that man is not going to submit to you in order to get the help he needs. He just wants to help. I'm talking about Ayana. So she tried to bring in other people to try and, you know what I'm saying, get him to communicate, because she was like, I realized that I'm not really communicating effectively to you as a man. I think after 2 times of her breaking up relationships doing that, I think sometimes you can fall into a confirmation bias where you believe because you're an expert in the field that you don't have a blind spot, and you can be negatively affecting people by pushing your bias onto people as expert opinion when it's rooted in your traumatic experiences with the opposite sex.
Like that girl, a queen maker. What I say, Trev? What's wrong? What? That's not confirmation bias from trying to swim in books constantly and then try to diagnose men by trying to cosplay as one?
No, I'm pretty familiar with homegirl, so you know, yeah.
Willie, I looked it up. You are correct. The threshold is much higher to meet it. But I did also ask it. Can the symptoms of that? I asked it like, you know, with a breakup, you know, somebody cheating on you, could that, you know, it said maybe it's possible, but it's very unlikely for something like that to happen and you to get PTSD. But I did ask it like, would the symptoms that what would you experience mirror the symptoms of PTSD? And it said, you know, pretty much absolutely. It can be, you know, very similar to that. So again, I think it's probably too much for somebody to try and diagnose it, and it's probably not true. However, I think it makes sense them drawing that parallel.
You know how
Let
many
me ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever did the whole ball up in a ball and just start crying and hurt after a breakup?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't like.
Bro, you're supposed to keep that to yourself.
I'm sorry, I said that judgmentally. I don't want nobody.
Yeah, you should have. Because straight like that did it. He said, "Yeah, you gotta keep that to yourself." Using the ball
Keep that to
like
yourself, bro.
Like, what's
this
wrong
is safe
with
space. This is safe space.
No, it's not a safe space. Don't come on this motherfucker talking about you was balled up in a random corner of your room.
You keep that to yourself, bro.
To me.
Yeah.
No, that's not safe for you to do.
Yeah.
Like if your mama dies, cool, get it. Your daddy, Lord forbid, a child, but because you broke up with a motherfucker you didn't know that you met along the way in your journey and then shit didn't go right, no, you gotta get your soft ass away from me. That's not okay. Process your emotions in a healthy manner, but that laying in bed crying and shaking and not wanting to bathe and shit, that no, there's no such thing as that.
Because I know everybody's been through heartache and breakups, but I always tell all my brethren, like when you break up with a girl, you just keep that to yourself. You're supposed to act like it didn't really happen, and then you go home and deal with that yourself. Why you over here?
When you got home straight like that, you was crying in that corner in the bed.
I never said nothing like that, bro. You said rolled up in the corner. I never said nothing like that.
I think you did though. But you can't keep it to yourself. Like you got whole homies that like, yo, what happened?
Talk to your homies about it, but your homies don't want to hear that you're at home with tissue, snot nose, crying your eyes out.
Did you make a dance video after the breakup?
Oh, in the rain.
You're stupid.
That shit probably saved in his phone.
One of my homies had a real bad. I can't even hold you. It was some other stuff going on in his life, but he this nigga, man.
Tell him.
Huh?
What did you tell him?
Shit, I told him, I was like, bro, like this was at an earlier time in life too and shit, right? So I was like, yeah, you can replace her. We can go to the club right now and get you 2 more of those.
Right.
You shouldn't be tripping. But he was tripping. He got 15, 20, 30 more, but he was in love with this one girl. And then what happened was he ended up tweaking and kidnapped her. He ran in her crib and I swear to God, made the news and everything. I woke up the next morning. They like, man, he got her. I'm like, he got who? They like, yeah, he went and grabbed her. I say, what? They say, yeah, it's a manhunt for him. I say, a manhunt, my nigga. What are you talking about? Say, yeah, I was at the house with him for the first 2 days trying to console him. So he didn't. Well, he said I was trying to console him. Like I slept over and And so he didn't wake up in the middle of the night and drive over to her house and all this shit. I'm like, drive over to her house? You just told me he was taking a bath. You ain't telling me this nigga was psychotic. It's like, well, shit, I was just trying to handle that.
And that's your friend, bro? That's your friend?
This was one of my friends. Yeah.
He did
Holy
something.
crap.
He did something crazy. He landed himself in jail.
Yeah. He ended up the girl was house sitting. He ran up to the girl house. I can talk about it because it was on the news. This ain't no personal private shit. This nigga's on the news. And he ended up like grabbing her and shit.
Damn,
When he went over there, she was like messing with another dude at the house.
You see How long was it together for? You see what happens when you lay up in the corner crying? You end up doing shit like this.
How long was they together for?
How long was he what?
How long was they together for?
Shit. I think they was together for like 2-3 years. She was to make it all work. She was like got
this question for y'all. Does success require a level of selfishness most relationships can't handle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, can you repeat the question?
Does success require a level of selfishness most relationships can't handle?
Does success require a level of selfishness most relationships can't handle? Yes.
I would say yes, but only because people don't vet very well, and they'll end up picking somebody who, is selfish to a degree. So, maybe like a woman who is always want to do something, always want to go out, is saying like, oh, we don't go out no more, all that nonsense and stuff like that. So yeah, most relationships are with those type of women. So
what about this one? Can a woman truly support a man's mission without sacrificing her own?
Nope.
what's her supposed to be?
Well, not her,
unless
not
her
her
mission
natural
is her
mission.
man.
Yeah, because I'm listening to that specifically. You said without sacrificing her own vision, I'm assuming.
If it's
I'm
her
like-
natural vision, no, she can't. But I mean, she technically that would be her thing, is to be a wife, and be a helpmate. But everybody wants to be independent and have their own thing going and their own identities. We saw that with the Hitman Holla interview. Like his girl had everything given to her, provided for her, taken care of, but she want to have her own like identity. So I don't think a woman like that will be able to support a man or be selfless or selfless enough to support a man when she still values having her independence, her own identity.
Well, what was the question? Was independence in the question, or was it purpose?
Her purpose is her man. That's a
No,
woman's purpose.
wait. What was the question?
Oh, the question was, can a woman truly support a man's mission without sacrificing her own?
Without sacrificing her own mission, right? That doesn't, to me, automatically means independence. Her mission can just be, maybe she just had a lifelong dream of being an attorney, and I'm running a business, and I need, a legal component to the business. Now you're working for the company business. You're still an attorney. You're still doing business law, but you're working for me. You're fulfilling your mission.
I mean, but some women have like this dream of like doing it on their own and like kind of being a boss babe and having a condo and
Right. So it's contingent upon the mission.
Yeah.
I mean,
That brings me to this question then. Is a man's purpose supposed to come before the relationship always?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but if her
when you saying purpose, are you saying work or
Just
whatever the purpose may be.
I don't think anybody's job for the most part is their purpose. I think it's what they do to survive. They go trade time for money so they can buy the things they need. But I don't believe that most people's job is their purpose.
If y'all had to say what y'all purpose was, what would you say it is?
That's
being
the
father.
question. Yeah, that's because I was about to say, like, I think my purpose is to be a father and lead a woman in a family. So maybe I had to rethink about my answer.
I don't know about the last part, but definitely being a father. being a father or like being an influence for boys, like the boys that don't have dads. That's why I coach. That's why I coach sports, or like volunteer with all these other organizations because there's a lot of kids who don't have dads, and I see with their moms, and I'm like, you definitely need somebody around. So I try to take them under my wing. I recruit for my football team, typically for bad kids or kids like the moms are single, so they just out in the wind, give them something organized to do. But I don't think I have a purpose outside of being a father, just being like a role model, a big brother to kids.
So then, would you say that your purpose would have been probably much different if you didn't have kids, right?
Nope.
No, it was
I was
still
like that with my. I've always been like a uncle to my cousins' kids that are a lot younger than me, and like my friends' kids. I got 12 godchildren. Like that's people have made me their godfather for a reason, and it's been like that since before I had kids.
Yeah. I often see people. It's kind of crazy, right? I'm pretty sure there's a medical term or maybe something up in psychology where it kind of describes this behavior, but people will often convince themselves of a truth and not necessarily the truth. So, they could be working a job and they can find some way to kind of tie it in and say that this is their purpose. What Willie said, I think it's a good point that is your job really your purpose? But does it depend on the job, Willie?
Yeah, I think so. Some people were meant to be like, heroes and protectors. They should go be police officers or they should join the military and do that. Some women are just meant to be instructional and be teacher. So I think that everybody has I think majority of people have a different calling. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's what will align with your purpose. I also understand the majority of people don't have the, I would say the connection to whatever it is they believe to even push them towards or before they can hear their calling.
Okay.
Too many people are just worried about surviving. So your calling comes different. If you think about what you wanted to be when you were a kid and what you were passionate about, look at what you do right now. I wanted to be a fucking assassin. Obviously, that's not what my purpose was, but when I was a kid, what I thought was cool. That's not what I am now. Like, and then when I found out what I was passionate about as a kid, it was literally like playing with other kids and teaching and doing that type of shit. I almost thought I was supposed to be a teacher. However, the income.
So if someone came up to you and this just to the panel and said that this is my purpose, how would you guys measure that to know if they was like telling themselves the truth or if it was truly their purpose or if they were just like full of shit?
If they
Say
could,
that, sorry, brother. Who was that?
it's fresh. Go ahead.
I would say the easiest way, and I'm not saying this is the same for everything, but if they're willing to do it for free, if they have passion about what they're doing, but they're willing to do it more so on a charity level. I'm not saying that's the same across the board because I still think at some point, if you're really good at it and you're getting results, you should be you should get compensated in some fashion, but they have this desire to do it regardless, even though they can probably make it profitable. They most so do it because they just love to do it.
So my job influenced me on my purpose, and it allowed me to change my purpose because of my job as a substitute teacher, because I seen the need for young boys who needed some type of male guidance in their life. So my job definitely influenced my purpose. Now I continue to do my purpose outside of my job. Even after I stopped being a substitute teacher, I continue my, to pursue my purpose of mentoring, helping young boys, and try to influence them in the right direction instead of seeing the influence that society was doing to them because they didn't have male role models or any male figures active in their lives. So I do think. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm sorry. I thought you had finished. I was gonna say I could see you being a great role model to them kids. Like I could see like having like a real masculine figure in there. They really probably appreciated that on the substitute teacher side.
Yeah, they that was really a special time for me because I seen how I could see a lot of them kids in myself, how it was for me when I didn't always have a male figure in my life. on a regular basis. So that definitely influenced me to, you know, to try to give back to my, not only to the school, because they didn't have they was looking for staffing for middle school football team. So they just now started bringing it to middle school in my city. And probably around about 2001, 2002. So I started doing that. And then, you know, after I left, I continued to coach football, as well as, you know, giving back by, we had a organization called the Cabbage Patch. And the Cabbage Patch is an after school program, or, you know, during the summertime, there's a program where kids can go at, you know, hang out, you know, do different activities. And so I got to volunteer for that. Like I think somebody said, sometimes doing certain things without, you know, looking for any type of financial benefit or compensation for it. I got some benefit out of it. I got compensated, but not financially. You know, it made me feel better about what I was trying to help and do, and see my community keep striving and get better, and giving these young boys an outlet to have where it's just having somebody just listen to them. 'Cause a lot of them kids just need somebody to listen to them. It's not even about, you know, talking to them. So most of it's just they need somebody to listen to them, because they don't have that shit at home. They ain't got their fathers at home, so they just need a man to listen to them, and you know, give my input wherever it's needed. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, my homie and me in New Orleans, we did a program called LA Next that was similar to that, where we did after school tutoring and then basketball training. It ain't for the money, right? It's just it to connect with them kids, and then just build with them, and then see like they little personalities form, and they hilarious too. A lot of them little kids be funny as hell. Like, yeah, I don't know. Would you go back to being a teacher?
would I go back to being a teacher? Shit. I told my wife I may do it and retire after 8 years of doing it, because I already had some time in already. So my pension would be connected. We all on the same pension. So I would. I mean, shit. I was on LinkedIn looking at some schools. So yeah, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I would.
Dr. Umar is about to open his school, Hank.
Yeah, shout out to Umar. But I won't be.
He been about to open that joint since, man.
Yeah, sound like. Yeah. I don't think I would get no check from him, so now I don't think I'd be working with Umar. But yeah, would I do it? Yeah, I would, because I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But now there will have to be a lot of different changes that will have to occur for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would do it.
We got a question. Is sacrifice in a relationship a sign of maturity or misalignment? Is sacrifice in a relationship a sign of maturity or misalignment?
I think it depends on what you're sacrificing, right? I believe in sacrifice, but not, although it may not sound like it makes that much sense, not at the expense of myself, right? So if you're sacrificing for your children, that's expected. Sacrificing for your family on a whole is expected. Sacrificing what's important for the family to do something for an individual, no, it's not a good look. So as you become older and you do mature, it becomes more second nature for you to sacrifice. Once you decide you're going to take on that duty of having a family, then sometimes it feels like it's nothing but sacrifice. And you don't have a problem doing it, because you understand the duty and you want the best for the people that surround you. However, sometimes we don't always understand what the threshold should be. We have to understand what healthy sacrifices are before it becomes your detriment, and then you're no longer good to the family. Like some of us as men will overwork ourselves in the name of providing for their family. But if you work yourself to the bone, at some point, now you're on a bench and you can't work for nobody, right? You got it. Some of us don't eat well. Some of us aren't paying attention to our diet. You know, we on the road getting it in and consuming garbage. I watched a couple people go away due to that. from working themselves to death. Some dear to me, and it's not a pretty thing to see somebody go like that. And what you always have to consider is who's going to watch your family now.
Trevor, I got an OG man that's 83, still working. He's got a cleaning business. He still gets in there, he grinds. But he feels like if I stop working, I'm gonna die. That's the stance he takes. I thought it was crazy, but that's just the way he is, man. 83, still doing his thing.
Yeah, I say this. I think you have to be in tune with your body, right? If you have a minivan, you probably shouldn't be redlining that shit. But if you got cam, you got a crank built, you know what I'm saying? It's a different ball game. You have to know what it is that you're doing. And even if he's working, he's got to be doing something to kind of optimize it, right? Because I definitely ran myself into the ground, but I've fortunately been able to not age out all crazy. My vitals still look really good, but there's so many nutrients that I consume. You know, there's exercise that I do. There's other things that I do to kind of compensate me. Sometimes not taking as much time as myself as I do, but you have to listen to your body.
I'm with you, Trey. I ran myself to the ground too, like self-sacrificing, trying to just do everything on behalf of family and not worrying about my health or whatever. I didn't get like major long-term scars behind it because I took like some years now to recover and just relax and stuff. But yeah, like that sacrifice be real because you kind of convince yourself that everything that you do needs to be centered in doing what's necessary for the family, regardless of what sacrifice it comes as a risk for you. And no, I that resonated with me. I think like the John Henryism, I think is what they call it when you work yourself to death, right?
Oh yeah.
When you like, I'm gonna put it all on the line and I'm gonna just do everything for the family. And you do gotta take care of yourself and make sure you in a good place to even be present and give back in a way that's valuable, because just being there sometimes ain't enough. You know what I mean? So you still gotta like be actively there. You can't just be like vacant, like just in the house, but ain't really in the house because you out like, you know what I'm saying? You ruminating in your mind because how messed up you are from just overworking yourself. You gotta like figure out how to have a decent balance where you can do both things.
Yeah. I don't think I'm ever going to stop working. Like I'm never going. As long as I still got creativity, as long as my mind still work, I'm gonna always be in some way, shape, or form providing value until I just my brain got to stop for me to stop working. I can't even imagine like just like, oh, let me just chill. That's what girls do.
It's 3 years. I
So
got
what?
3 years and I'm done. That's
So
it.
so you say relaxing is for girls or self what is it? Self-care or not trying to work yourself to death. That's what women do.
It's gay.
It's gay.
Hey, I'm about to be in my most feminine state ever then, cuz
Wow.
I turned 45. Listen, I turned 45. It's over. Everything that I need to do. The only thing I care about then is just being a daddy.
Yeah,
So Willie, I'm with you.
I'll
I've been in that same mode
Like
for the
you still have
last
something to do.
5 years. The only thing I really care about doing is being a dad. I done picked up hobbies. I'll be happy all day with my kids.
So,
and shit. But Mott say that's
Willie, and according to Mott, you're gonna be gay in about 3 years.
That's cool because like I wanted to make sure that I was able to be around for my kids. Like I told y'all, I regret prioritizing the military over my oldest 2 sons and letting them be with their mom. So that's something that I just said that I would never do again when I had my youngest son. And so with him and baby girl, shit, that's my job now. So my job is picking them up from school, taking them to school, taking them to get haircuts. Same shit I do now. But I got client meetings and shit in between. But when I turn 45, he'll be in the 6th grade, getting ready to go to junior high. That's when shit starts mattering. That's when it's important. So that's my job.
Willie, my whole thing, like my pops died when I was like in 3rd grade or whatever. And I low-key could feel myself like just working myself to death, just focusing on all this other shit. I'm like, man, I got to step back from this shit.
I
wanted to be there.
I watched my pops work. His body broke down. He was always in the gym. He was like trying to be a bodybuilder when I was little, and since I admired that, and then He worked at the post office, and he had other shit going on. And then he retired and started the landscaping business. So I watched him do manual labor for 40 years, and 3, 5, 6, 7 rotator cuff surgeries, knee surgery, back surgery. You know what I'm saying? So I decided when I was a kid that I was always going to work smarter and not harder. And if your mind will last significantly longer than your body will, and that was something that I learned from him. So now, I turned 43 this year. I got 2 more years of actually working, and then I'm done. I'm not. You can't get me out of bed for nothing. I don't give a shit about how much money you talking about. If it's not about my kids, my family, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna last long, Willie. You gonna
I'm a PhD.
You're five with this.
Does that sound gay to you? Does that sound gay to you? What Willie just
bro.
described?
I finish flight school next month, so I'll be able to. I have a plane. I can fly wherever I want to and do what I want to do. Shit, it ain't no point for me to go do nothing. If it's
what are you flying?
I believe you, man, because unless you're bored, I have too many things. I know how to play chess. I like to play with cars. I'll play with nature. I like to travel. There's no way on earth I would ever be bored and feel like, you know what?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I need to go back to work. No, if you broke as hell, I get it. He's not broke, so he's gonna find shit to do. There's a 5, 6, 7 star hotel somewhere where you can go and experience.
What are you flying? I got my private pilot.
Yeah, the plane that I want to buy for myself, I want the Cirrus Vision Jet H2.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I want.
What are you flying now? Cessnas, Pipers, Cherokee, both?
All the bullshit that lets you fly when it's somebody else plane.
Right, yeah.
There's a guy in school with me that has access to H1 or the old Cirrus Vision Jet, and the guy wanted $600 an hour to fly.
Oh wow!
So I responded back to that text. Fuck no.
You're gonna get your night certification.
I'm gonna get the VFR, FR. I'm gonna do everything.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like flying. Only being restricted to flying during the day is like being able to drive during the day because you old. And I want to be able to fly all the time.
Right.
And then with the range for the planes that I want, it's 1,500 plus miles, so I can fly from DC to Texas, DC to Florida, DC to Puerto Rico, or DC to Texas, then California. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to have the flexibility of being able to travel when I want to. If anything that I
be a goddamn mule, I know what you're doing. You're a fucking mule.
You stay in single engine?
Oh damn, bro!
Right now,
you're a goddamn drug mule.
I definitely wouldn't. Drugs don't pay enough for me to take the risk.
Not on the transporting end, no.
Yeah.
Y'all need to,
statistically speaking, drugs are not the move, sir.
Y'all need to take inspiration from this. This is rich nigga shit, talking about planes and Vision Jet.
No, it's not. It's just it's a hobby.
This is rich nigga shit. Y'all need to take it. Don't
do that because you know me.
Don't get mad.
You the only one got mad and called him gay for wanting to go do this shit.
I mean,
I fully understand. Look, Mom, when you don't have to wake up until you want to wake up.
I said what I said, but I'm just saying, don't get mad. Willie's talking about money again. Get inspired.
Hey, wait! It's funny saying that the nigga calling me a rich nigga calling me rich. That's the funny part. That's the funny shit. This nigga ain't had an alarm clock since he was in his 20s, and now talking about me. He's funny as fuck. And planes ain't even expensive. Flight school costs you about 15 or 20 grand.
Yeah.
Then you can go get a plane. Well,
that's a lot of money.
How much is it to fill it up, brother?
A lot.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, you're gonna spend 38,000 to fill that bitch up. You like
no.
That maintenance on that son bitch, I'm sure.
That's for a jet. So wait, hold on. For a big jet, you probably spend a lot on fuel. But for Cirrus Vision Jet, it probably costs you I don't know, $200-300 to fill up.
I used to have
it.
Yeah.
Oh goddamn. Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be that expensive. But you gotta look at it. It's just evolution of my hobbies. I like fast shit. I've had every car I could think of.
Trev getting some ideas. Okay.
Now it's the only thing I can do is I'm not fucking with nothing on the water. I was in the Navy, so you'll never catch me on a boat, a yacht, or none of that shit.
Well, everybody in the Navy be like,
I
"Yo,
was
I'm not
going to
no
say,
water."
Nigga, I got 1,000 days out to sea. 1,000.
PTSD.
That's not PTSD. But like, I got 1,000 days on. Why the fuck do I want to go on a cruise, bro?
You'll be on no cruise.
the water. I used to have a boat, a Scarab. That was $1,500 to fill. 300-gallon tank, $5 a gallon.
JR, what was you saying? We couldn't hear you. If you talking.
Who?
I said Willie's gonna be in a submarine.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna do that. I've been in a submarine. I'm not doing nothing that I did in the Navy. Nothing. Like I didn't fly a plane in the Navy. I didn't fly a helicopter.
If I still had my Scarab, you wouldn't go out on it?
No.
A cigarette boat. You know what a Scarab is, right? Yeah. Okay.
Bro, I don't fuck with the water at all.
So you don't fish?
You don't even swim?
Yeah, nigga. Of course I can swim. Like that's why I don't want to do it.
I say you don't swim. You don't swim though.
No, not now.
No
Listen, anything
you don't
that
even
I
hit the pool.
Job in the military, I don't do now, except for like the computer shit. I don't even do that no more.
Hey man, don't even put his feet in the goddamn water.
See, you niggas like the ocean because y'all do that like beachy shit, right? Go 2,000-3,000 miles out and see what type of shit is in that water, and then get in it. Like the fish you see out in the middle of fucking nowhere, they not scared of people. They look at all they're gonna do is look at you like, can we eat that or not? And that's the decision tree that those fish have. They get aggressive. So the stuff that I've seen where I'm not. Listen,
yeah,
I don't go on water I can't see through. That's me. If I can't see through it, I'm not in it.
Yeah, y'all like you saying the women and shit. No, I want my bitches on dry land. Like I'm not finna go out here and get none of these beach girls. I'm cool.
Hold on, none of y'all go fishing. None of y'all go out there and feed the fish.
No, I go hunting though. Like I love hog hunting. That shit is fun.
I was wanting to do that.
If I could die and choose another life, like I would live on a farm and I'd get me some dogs and I'll just be hog hunting and all that type of shit.
Hey Trev,
that's found a spot that lets you do it, or like you got to do that
Trev,
like one at a time.
I got a spot in Texas that you go up there, you get fully automatic assault rifles, and you get in a helicopter and you hang out the side and they fly you around and shoot hogs. Do it.
How many do they let you do? Because I saw that one. How many do they let you do?
As many as you can.
Unlimited.
Like, what can you afford?
All right.
Now I want to be on the ground.
You process these hogs, or you just killing them?
I was gonna say, let me close this out. Back chat. A member $5 super sticker. Thank you. We also have Brother again for 99 cents. Also a member. And lastly, do business 856 $9.99. Message to the panel. Never stop seeking knowledge. The power of your brain is better than any other part of your human body. The women will come back to us when they're ready. Only she can heal herself. I think everybody has control to the platform. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section if you enjoyed this stream. Kind of different, but hopefully it was educational for someone. Hit the like button on your way out. Thank you guys. Make sure we support everybody on the panel. Check out their IGs. Some amazing brothers on the panel. They got a lot of great things happening on YouTube and as well as off YouTube. So the only way to connect with them is if you check it out. So get them a follow and support, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are out.